Gulf Coast means the swamp, the heat, the mess, the beauty, the laughter, the food, the people, the original people. The Gulf means the South to me. Yeah, the love of the South.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Breaking the Cycle, a podcast of the impacts of the fracking cycle from extraction in the Permian Basin to exports in the Gulf Coast, and the amazing people working towards a future freed from the grip of polluting industry. I'm your host, Courtney Nakian, recording in Bulbancha, also known as New Orleans, on the ancestral lands of the Houma, Chitimacha, and Choctaw and Biloxi people.
I came down here looking for joy. It's just been hard to find joy here for the South. It often feels like we're ignored. And I was speaking with somebody earlier that we've got to put it into people's faces so that they can see it and see why we fight. We fight for the beauty of this place. You know what I mean? We fight for the diversity of this place. We fight for the benefits that we get from this place. Extractive industry understands it, but do others really know why we live, why we fight, why we breathe the South? And so, you know, looking for that now and trying to capture that in an image. That's been my mission since I've been here, and I'm on that mission. Yeah, I'm on that mission.
Like it says, our roots are deeper than the water. It shows everyone that passes that this is Houma, this is Terrebonne, this is what we're about. Not just these storefronts, but the storefronts are a canvas of what we are, who we are.
Look at New Orleans.
Along the Gulf Coast, it takes a little extra courage to vision a better future because extractive industries have been entrenched for so long. From the beaches to the bayous, folks need to know that they are not alone in worrying about the future of the Gulf Coast. We know the impacts from Cancer Alley, dangerous oil rigs, and hurricanes. People, histories, and places are being deleted. The fossil fuel industry is spreading out along the Gulf coastline. There are 20-plus massive LNG export facilities proposed for our wetlands and communities.
My mom used to jet ski on the river in the 70s. Like, that was just like how in any other community where there's water, people did water sports. Like, people had jet skis and would go on boats and just hang out there all day. And my whole lifetime, it's been more militarized than that, and people don't really go there. So even though I've seen it become more extreme over my lifetime experience was so different. Like, I can't imagine a world where it's like, we're going jet skiing on the Rio Grande River. We are gonna try to go see a tree that I love that is a Montezuma bald cypress tree. And he's 900 years old and probably like 15 feet tall and like 10 feet wide. And he lives on the other side of the border wall now. So when I first met him, he was accessible and you could just drive right up to him. Now it's a lot more difficult to get to him, and he's been getting access through a gate in the border wall that might have been closed already. So I'm not 100% sure we'll be able to make it, but we're gonna try. Like, in what world is it like the municipal powers that be are building a wall and using military fortitude to keep you from your favorite tree? It's very absurd. Like I said, I think the worst thing that will happen is that this is it. I recognize that building.
Really?
Yeah, legit. This is the road. We found it, yeah. Yeah, we're here. Yeah, I see his twisted branches. He's here. Yeah. And there's no gate yet, which is great. So it's up to you if you want to turn around and like park and walk, or if you want to just like drive down and let them tell us to leave. It's really up to you.
Kurt, you want to drive down and let them tell us to leave?
It's down there. We should make a decision.
What do you think?
Where can we park, though? Can we park in this little area?
I don't think so. I think we'd have to park like over on the road. But the only way to find out is to really do it. At this point, I'd say let's just go down and let them tell us to leave.
Is there a tree far from here?
It's right there.
No, it's here.
Look up and you see those thick, twisted branches? That's him.
We made it.
That's the tip of him. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I know, I'm relieved. I was afraid the gate was gonna be there and I was never gonna see him again.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, here he is.
Oh my God.
There he is. Isn't he fucking beautiful?
He's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Oh, isn't he the coolest and completely unexpected, right?
Hi, buddy. Oh my goodness.
I know, he's so great.
So pretty.
So you can see how he has seed pods on him that the branches kind of fawn over. Originally, this tree grew here because the river at one point was right here. So he sprouted in the banks of the river with the seed kind of germinating in the water. And then over time, the river moved away from him. Remember, he's 900 years old, so the water changed its pathway. As rivers do, rivers should not be borders. And if trees like this were encouraged along the river, then there would be a lot more of these types of tree, because this is what our native ecosystems look like. He is native to this region, this tree. He's not imported, he's from here. However, because of militarization, they discourage trees that grow tall along the river. So there's no reforestation efforts, there's no work to propagate this type of tree along the riverbanks anymore. So you really don't see them. He's very rare.
Hi, this is Rochetta Ozan with the Vessel Project. Did you give me a call?
Yes, ma'am. I was just trying to see what the status was. I mean, you know, I ain't trying to rush nobody or bother nobody, but I just trying to see what's going on.
Yes, sir. So you're the one who needs assistance with your first month rent and deposit, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, this is Rochetta Ozan with the Vessel Project. I had a missed call.
Yes, ma'am. I'm calling for assistance with my light bill.
Assistance with your light bill?
Yes, ma'am.
How much is your light bill, ma'am?
Right now, $300.
Can you text me a picture of it? And if I have the funding, then I will assist you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vessel Project is small, like it's just me. And I feel like the amount of people that I help, the amount of people who reach out to me, I feel like it's ridiculous, because I feel like the city of Lake Charles and the parish should have an avenue to help these people more. I'm just one little small organization. You can see the roof. They lost their house and their car. And guess what? They still live there because they don't have anywhere else to go. So they live on one side of the house that's livable. You can see his roof, but he still lives there. These are the families that I'm helping. They have no choice but to live. This house, you see, they got solar panels. We were able to convince them to get solar panels because their program was like, if we put solar panels on your house, then we'll help fix your house for you. So those are the kind of things that happen. I'm gonna show you this. This is a park over here, Riverside. Look how pretty it is.
This is so beautiful.
Yeah. We're gonna get out and we're gonna walk down there because I'm gonna show y'all something. You see this?
What the frick? Why is it locked?
Don't you see how beautiful it is? The kids in the neighborhood can't even get over here and play at this park. It's locked. That's a community center right there. The community center, you have to like pay to use it. But you know why they built it over here? To have a boat launch. So they don't want the people who live over here don't have boats. This doesn't benefit them at all. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want them coming playing at the park, the pretty park over here, or using the community center because they want a certain people to use this space, even though it's in this community. I wanted to show you all this spot because when you look around from this spot and you look at the skyline, what don't you see?
All the industry.
You don't see any industry. They found a way to find prime locations where the industry does not affect them, where they can't see the industry, but they put it over here in this community, and this community doesn't even have access to utilize it. I'm not welcome over there, so they don't come over here. That's why there's nobody here right now. School hasn't started yet. This should be full of people sitting at these little benches, but look at all of this green space. Look at all of it.
It's like a different place.
A different place.
Through mutual aid, arts, and activism, local communities are coming together and have stopped and delayed many LNG export projects along the Gulf Coast.
This is where my dad and them used to bring us fishing down here. It's just off the side of the road. They're draining the swamp. I know what that's for. That's for the lock system that they're putting in. They're destroying a whole habitat of marshland to put a lock system in, a floodgate system. And a lot of the bayous and canals around here, they're doing the same thing to them. Pass through those floodgates right there, and you travel due south for about 20 minutes. You're in the Gulf of Mexico. On the end of the dock, we would come fishing at night. You'd tear up the redfish. No, you can't do it. I've never seen this before. This is new. Our own backyard, finding new stuff. And they're drilling again. That's an injection well. Back there, those are more storage tanks for another oil well they have back here. It's actually a natural gas well on the other side. Where the tanker's at the end, it looks like just fingers going off into the water. At the end of every single one of these fingers is either an oil well or a natural gas well that leads to a pipeline. And told us, we get another storm, they're not coming back. We're on our own.
That's the thing about the Gulf, is the layering of the traumas.
But I wouldn't change it for the world.
I know.
But it's critical to acknowledge that where fossil fuel and petrochemical industries operate, where these activists live and work, where you are listening from and where I sit today, and where our vision for a just transition will unfold, is all on stolen indigenous land. In the Gulf Coast, several indigenous groups don't have federal recognition. Some are state recognized and many are not, which makes their land even more unprotected to the whims of industry development. Though as we've seen with the Dakota Access Pipeline, the Keystone XL Pipeline, or the Line 3 pipeline, federal recognition definitely does not guarantee protection from fossil fuel companies.
Yeah, and this is what we have to deal with every day, you know? These constant reminders, these big reminders in our face, right? That these big industries are here, and they're not friendly neighbors, you know? These aren't the type of neighbors that bring you a cup of sugar. Me existing in the world, other people who have other minority identities attached to them, like all of these people, you know, all of these people's identities are in resistance to like what all of these big companies stand for. Our existence is resistance. It's a community of people willing to be better.
there are artists right here in New Orleans that's telling the truth about New Orleans. So there are artists who are actually doing this and doing this work, who speak of it, who sing about it, who write about it, who live it, who, you know, describe it in film, and who describe it through paintings and through poems. You know, who are really telling the truth about the resilience and the suffering, the joy as well as the hurt, who are really telling the truth. And that's the problem that I see right now, that we want to celebrate the joy, but we don't want to talk about the hurt, because if we talk about the hurt, then we have to talk about the people that were ignored.
Right.
And that's the thing. We don't want to see the suffering, because the suffering makes us uncomfortable. That's what made me pick up the camera. That's what made me pick up that camera and start really recording. You know, for me, this is ministry in a real sense. I stopped being a full-time pastor to do this full-time.
Because she's not an artist like the other artists. But when I think about Justin, I think about his cooking art.
My gumbos usually run, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours.
What does that mean to you? What's that like for you?
The cooking and preparing, that's, I like doing it. It's like, I'm just not feeding a person. I'm giving a person a part of me. And because I like to talk while I cook and teach about why I'm doing things, how I'm doing things. And it's just sharing what I know and learn from my grandmother, and she learned from her grandmother and my grandfather, because in my family, it's not really the women who cook in our family, it's mostly the men who cook. And I learned everything I know from my grandfather and my mom and my dad, and they learned from their moms and dads, mostly their dads, because it was they would cook. And I just see passing that on to everyone I know. It's a good feeling.
Arts are for remembering a time before extraction, pollution, destruction, and deletion. And arts are for visioning a better future.
We really need that bright light in our city, because it's like he said, it's a draft. You ride around, and I know just riding and you're seeing things that were here when we were growing, it's no longer here. And it's time for us to, as a city and a community, to try to at least, like I say, bring some hope, bring some light back into our community.
Well, after talking with Shannon, we just kind of had a vision of what we wanted this side of town, and it's being left to die. It's a food desert, you know, it's a lot. So if we have an opportunity to bring something bigger, then why not bring it here, put it on this side of town to give hope back to this side of town. If you could bring hope back, man, you can do a bunch of great things, you know.
By us having the opportunity to actually do the mural, we're able to let the city know, hey, this place still exists. You have people here that's willing to work and put funds back into this community. I have all of the images in my phone.
You do?
Yes, I have.
Show me what you got.
Yeah, so this is drawing it, and then this is the building. So it's a process. It's not just, ain't no just throwing no paint on the wall.
Yeah, it's actually something we can make a statement with. It's something that can speak for years to come. You know, kids can see it. That's something that the community will see every day. People coming into the city down the street, they'll be able to see it. It'll be something you'll stop and look at, because everything down here just looks drab. So it's gonna breathe life into it. So it's the freedom of being able to speak through picture.
We're from the same neighborhood that these kids are growing up in, and there's a lot of talented, oh my God, kids. And they can see that, you know, we were able to do it. So that's something that maybe we can bring some culture to our city.
It'll inspire whoever owns the next building and the next building. You know, just let it become like a territory of art, like in Houston. You can go and you can find a whole area where it's just all this dope art that's up. what's wrong with Lake Charles being a place like that? Like, bring the art. You got weird people here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
We're literally, this is our seed. We're planting our seed with this mural, and hopefully from this seed, our community continue to grow again.
Being a writer, I think like the writing finds you. Being a creator, the creativity comes for you. You know what I mean? I don't think that you don't get a choice. It kind of just, it reveals itself to you and through you, and all you have to do is just kind of believe it and let it guide. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it anyway. Yeah, it works. I'm super fortunate to like be an artist and get to use my creativity like just through my voice or through the eyes of poetry. But I'm so used to it now. It's like breathing, you know?
You've become it.
Yeah.
You are. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would not be this. Yeah, I'm choosing it. Can I just read it to you?
Yeah. Would you?
Read it to you?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'll grab. No, this is like super new. Okay.
Oh, really? Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is special.
So when we're trying to, oh my goodness. In trying to like write something that's like, have you ever tried to like write about resilience? I'm not gonna read this whole thing to you because I don't want to bore you to death.
No, but please do.
No, I don't.
I won't be. Please do whatever you. I want. I will.
Let's see how you respond. I have not tried this without crying. Let's see if we can do it. Okay. All right. Some fun facts. Did you know there are over 100 definitions and explanations for the word resilience? Resilience retains a multitude of meanings. If one was a verb, they'd use it as an action to actually bounce back, rebound, recoil, shrink from, and move forward. Look at you. Modifying life the way you do. When stretched to maximum capacity, you maintain tenacity through the power of resuming an original shape or position after compression, bending, capable of breaking, but you don't, and if you do, you recover quickly or in the amount of time you need to, because that's just what resilient people do. Wow. Stop and marvel. Rest and resist. Be amazed at your ability to exist in the midst of it all. We can't control what happens to us, but if we're doing the self-work, we can control how we respond to it. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for withstanding and sticking to it at the rattle of distress and going through it, even though so many awful things have happened. Resilience is a long-lasting superpower that keeps you boosted. Don't you ever forget you are the evidence and the proof. There's nothing you can't come back from. There's nothing you can't do. Every day something has tried to kill you or threaten your environment, and still you rise entirely your own original superhero, helping other superheroes become superheroes that have been through what you've been through. Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations. I hope resiliency continues to heal you. Oh.
While filming, we learned an LNG export terminal is now proposed in Florida near my home.